yo, just do the work now, son. Like, just do the work now. Listen to what she's saying, or get the help. Go to therapy. You know what I mean? Bring a third party involved, not for sex, but bring somebody.
Or maybe, I was gonna say, or maybe
that might solve the problem.
I mean, I wasn't cooking with grease then, but now we're cooking with grease.
You're now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in
to the Juxtaposition Podcast.
Whoa. Right. Welcome to episode 45 of the Juxtaposition Podcast, aka the Extraordinary Nobodies, aka the 5 Heartbeats, aka the Starting 5, aka 4 Hubbies and a Possible. I am your host, Arsenio Hall. And we back ready for the playoffs. All 5 positions have been filled. We got Draymond James back in the building.
Draymond James.
Coming in with the clutch fouls, triple single.
Triple single.
There is nobody in the history of my basketball life that I would much rather have fouled somebody for me than James. Nobody.
Or set a pick.
None. Now that pick is yeah, you're gonna roll after James picked you.
Easy too.
What's going on, fellas? How was your week?
It's good.
Start with you, CEO. What's going on?
Not much, man. Just been, busy handling all the little things here and there for the crib so I can move in.
The home? I mean, if you say crib, you might feel like it's the apartment. Like, this is my home.
True. The house.
Right. So. Amazing. You laid some floor down yet? You did any real work?
Not yet. Actually, this week I'm not laying the floor. I'm actually gonna sand it and restain it. I'm gonna keep the floor.
So for those who don't know, Zoe does everything. Mm-hmm. He's the guy that's going to do everything in his own home. He don't need nobody else. Shout out to Money Mitch for teaching him the ways how to save $1.
Hello. That's accurate. Yeah, shout out to my pops for that.
Speaking of, what's going on, Pulpit Poppy? What's going on, brother? How's everything going for you right now?
Man, my week has been great. I've just been working. Same old, working, taking care of my family, enjoying myself, enjoying the new role, the changing career. So it's been great. I can't complain at all.
Is it more of a change than you imagined? Because I know when you first thought about it, it was supposed to be like the same position you had at your previous company, but like, is it totally different for what you were doing?
Man, totally different. It's like if it's like going from a team where you were responsible for bringing the ball up court, finding the open man, posting up down below, getting the rebounds, like you were in charge of everything, and then going to a place where and then going to a team where all you got to do is stand in the corner and shoot. And that's
PJ
what you
Tucker.
like to do.
Oh, you were from LeBron and PJ Tucker.
Bro, it's completely different. I get to specialize in standing in the corner and shooting, which is awesome. It may not sound like a great analogy, but it really feels good to be able to dig deep into like one specific thing and not be spread so thin. So it's been awesome. It's been awesome.
Then if you feel like it, you know what I mean, in a couple months, you might bring the ball up yourself every now and then.
But it's nice that I have that option, right? I don't have to play all 5. You know what I mean?
Got that good support system.
Absolutely. So it's been great.
I speak to a man who's been getting money for a long time. What's going on, bro? How you been, man?
I'm good, man. I've been. I
didn't even say your name, and you knew money was who the money came in.
Come on, man.
You see?
The joke is long. The joke is just a long-standing joke. So at this point,
he just answered.
Like I might as well just speak up.
When the money call, I answer. That's
where the money reside. Where the money reside.
Oh, man. Nah, man. It's been a lot going on in my life. A little stressed out. Just been like working, and then I have to come home, and I'm studying for a licensing exam I have to take next week, the first one. So I've been doing that, and then just my wife and I look for a house. Next week I got to take the first one.
Good luck, bro.
Yeah, man. I took the first practice exam today. Got an 83 on that bad boy. I only need a 70.
Okay. I was going to ask because some of these tests be like, you in order to pass into 85. Like, God,
I just need a 70, so I'm well above what I need. So they don't expect you to know everything, and I'm okay with that. But
I'm sending you blessings. Sending you blessings for that 71, bro. Sending you blessings
I
for
don't
that.
even want a 70. I just want a 70. Like, that's all I need is a 70.
77. That's 77.
Oh man. But these practice tests supposed to be apparently harder than that actual test. So that's a good sign too.
That's love.
Okay.
I'm just taking as many as possible, and we'll see what happens. But I'm confident that I'll be able to pass it.
Justice League, send some good graces to my man's way. Everybody needs the extra push every now and then because we got these goals we're trying to accomplish. So every little bit helps.
Absolutely.
Chef, what's going on in your world, bro?
Man, living good. Family's good. Got a chance to see them this weekend.
You went up top?
Yeah, I was just for my nephew's 4th birthday. I told
Happy
his
birthday.
dad. I told his dad this should be his last one. Should be the last big celebration until he's 12. And
damn.
Why 12? Not 10?
No, man, because 12 is 10 year in 4th grade. What we celebrating? We ain't do middle school yet.
It's the first double
digits.
It's your first double digit. You got to celebrate that.
It's still 6 years alike. That's 6 years.
I'm not saying we're not gonna acknowledge it. I'm just saying like the big birthday bash vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You done to 12.
I ain't mad at you for that. I would think 1 through 5 and then nothing till 10 and then nothing else till 16 maybe.
See, like,
and then 21
for me because like 10 is cool, but you in 4th grade, right? We're gonna throw you a bash. Let's throw you a bash when you in the 6th grade and tell the whole school to come out. And I'll put you on. I'll make sure you get that clout you need.
See, that's what I was gonna say. You Kev reverse engineering how like what would it take for me to be lit at like 12? Let me have my parents throw me a party, the backyard going crazy. We got cupcakes.
Tell the teachers to come out. Tell the principals to come out.
Right.
But even before that 1 through 5 is cool because it's development, it's early, and it's still babies. But 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, we're just gonna experience and explore on your birthday. We'll go to here, we'll go there. You get to.
That's actually fire. That's fire.
The whole bash. Not doing that. 12, and then after 12, that's it. I mean, maybe 16.
After 12, go get a job. But go get a job. You 12, go get a job now. That's it.
I'm telling you, raising an individual, man. We're not raising babies. We're raising an individual. After 6.
Good thing I was 10 in 6th grade.
Raise babies 1 through 5, and then 6 is our individuals. So we raise whether a boy or a girl.
But here's a good. I think the difference is like to what Zoe was saying. I was 10 in 5th grade, but at 4th grade, 5th grade started my middle school, so I can understand like, all right, boom, 4th grade you have a bash, but if you end elementary school at 6th grade, you go to junior high in 7th. Then I get that too. So I guess it depends on wherever you stop. Elementary school.
Yeah. That next level of middle school is the transition, regardless of the age. You're right. It's more about the space you are in our conversation that we were having. Now, who says things will change, right? Because that's just what life is about. But if I had to create a standard rule,
4-year-old, he can no longer have birthdays.
5-year-old, one more. I told him you got one more. Okay.
This is it, kid. Enjoy your. Hold on. You got to tell him. Count your fucking days, kid. Count your fucking days.
That was all it was. We had a good time doing that, and got a chance to see Jax, who's his little new puppy.
That's dope. So the kid and the dog will be growing together. That's fire.
That's the point. Hopefully give him some responsibility.
Yo, before we go any further, we got to make sure you go to juxmerch.com to get your merch. Juxmerch.com takes you to the FinallyWord.store website, but it takes you right to the place you need to be. Click on Juxtaposition Podcast gear and you'll get to where we need to be. We have some stuff here. We have some nice hoodies, new t-shirts. Go ahead and get your merch. If you want to support us, go directly to the pod, juxmerch.com. As far as me, the weekend was cool. Y'all have been spoiled with Top Golf for how long? It's Top Golf out there, right?
Yeah, we got about 5 years or more. A little over 5 years.
They just opened one in San Jose. And, so, I mean, I've always known about it, but because of COVID, it's like, got to get reservations and like, you can only have 6 people. So it was cool. And when I tell y'all, there's nothing worse than I hate than being trash at something in front of people. Man, I really hate being bad at shit in front of people. It's like
it's that ego. It's that ego.
It's the pride. It's like
it's that pride.
Golf will definitely humble you, boy. No matter how athletic you think you are.
Yo, son.
Golf, if you don't know how to play, it will definitely humble you.
Because the best golfers are non-athletic.
I mean, that could be facts. Tiff was hitting every ball in the proper direction. I'm just looking at her, and she's giving me tips while she's sitting there, and I'm swinging. She's like, she like, stay down. Like,
bend your knees a little bit.
You don't do this. You don't do this every day.
Hey, yo, Var, let me ask you a question.
You wasn't there.
Did she wrap her arms around you and hold her?
Oh, like, yeah.
Var poked it out for a little bit, Var. Var poked it out for
Var, don't be bashful.
Oh my God. Yo, man, pride had me like, I don't like that shit.
I don't like that shit
at all.
Drop a dime on that.
Yeah, man, but we had a good time. You know what I find? It's like all these spots, whether it's bowling with Lucky Strikes or Bolero or Top Golf, all these places in there, but Applebee's with activities.
That's it. Same food menu.
Oh yeah.
The food be garbage.
Yeah,
the food is horrible.
You know how your barbecue sauce is supposed to have some like thickness to it. My barbecue sauce was like
just
it was
runny.
Watery. It was mad. Nah. Yeah, it's like, but it ain't supposed to do that. Nah, it ain't. But
weird to eat at now for me.
I feel you.
I think too much into that. Like I just like I
mean, I get it for your profession, for what you're doing.
Just
it makes sense.
Like the Applebee's version to me, I think they're trying to like figure it out, but it's hard to. It's hard to like go in there thinking like you're gonna get a real good meal from there.
No, I can't
because you're not going to.
I was about to say that's not what the purpose is.
You in there for 2 for $20, my man.
That's it. Stay full and drink up.
Remember when they had those $1? It was $1 Long Island or $1 margarita.
That was bad.
That's a happy hour.
It was making them shits in toilets. Like
yeah, but it was making that shit with hooch.
Toilet water.
Yeah. Come one, come all. Come get your $1 margarita.
Oh man.
Nah.
What do you expect for $1 though, right?
I don't know. I mean, yeah. Depending on how old you are, because had we had that on Route 1, would we have cared? Maybe not.
No.
We drunk vodka from a plastic bottle willingly. Nobody put a gun to our head.
Good old brunettes. I
ain't drink that shit. I ain't drink that.
Yeah, I might have entertained this by accident on a juices.
Man,
but never intentional. Never.
I intentionally bought that one time. It was like $6 for a nice bottle.
At the bottom
shelf. I was high class. I was buying Sky vodka. It was in a glass bottle.
The blue drink.
Yeah.
So it went from $6 to $12.
Right. That's all I had.
I never. Oh my God, the Burnett's. The only person who put me on that. Well, never put me on, but who made me go buy it for them was Tariq. Shout out to Shabazz.
We ain't even gonna get there because if he had to tell that story, his pride will prevent him from telling us what his favorite drink was back in those days.
Who mine?
No, Mr. Shabazz.
Oh yeah. We already know what it was.
We already know what time it is.
Yeah.
But digging into today's main topic, if you haven't been able to tell, what we're talking about is pride and ego. This episode would be successful if we can talk about, as men, like I want to be very clear, as men, and we can describe pride and ego in relation to all things. Like, what is pride? Has pride ever gotten in the way between you and success? And things like foolish pride, do we subscribe to that? Are we above that? Things of that nature. So start with my man Cleveland, because he didn't give us any drinking stories. You know, y'all notice how he excluded himself. But with that said, bro, what would you describe as pride? What is pride?
To me, pride is an overinflation of your own accomplishments and your own abilities to accomplish things.
The big-headedness.
Big-headedness. That's what pride is. When you're hyper focused on self and what you can do and how you did it and what you can accomplish and what you did, like hyper expression of a sense of self. To me, that's what pride is.
Something Chef said to us last week, 2 weeks ago, about another side of pride, that when you think about what pride is, somebody says like, I'm proud of you, right? Are those two things alike? When somebody's like, yo, I'm proud of you, because pride is the root word, and proud, Is that the same thing as the overinflation? Anybody can answer this, but do y'all feel like those two things are related?
They're not. They might come from the same root, but I feel like they're used so differently, and the connotation is different. I think being prideful is completely different than being proud of. Like somebody can be proud of what you did because they may know your backstory, or they may have some kind of feeling of being related to you, not even by blood. Like if we see a black man do something great, we're like, dang, man, I'm proud of you. Like, I don't really know you, but the fact that we're both black men in this country makes me proud of what you just did. I think prideful has a different connotation than being like proud of, in my opinion.
I like where Cleveland went with that. I'd say that I was more, I did ask that question in that way. And what I was trying to allude to was more about, would you rather someone be proud of you or proud for you? Right. And because I think when I hear them stated in "I'm proud of you" statement, I feel less motivated, less inspired at versus "I'm proud for you," because then there's a more understanding of what it probably took to get to what you think is you're proud for me for, and there's more of a acknowledgement of the process and the work, and you know, and the challenges that might have had overcame. To me, when I hear I'm prideful, or being prideful, is more internally, and I think Cleveland kind of alluded to what I would have went to in terms of being hyper focused on self, versus proud, which is just an acknowledgement on self and giving self credit without being too egotistical. I know we used that earlier, but
right.
But you know, I think the words all kind of have so many similarities. I think the connotation or the context of the word is very distinct when you define them as one being more vain than the other. I think pride has a vain connotation versus being proud. So that's kind of how I navigate it.
We always hear this other term, which is pride cometh before the fall. James and Zoe, how do y'all feel about that? Do y'all think that that's true? And if it is true, is there any other aspect of pride that can be a bit of more redeemable value?
Let me start with this. I don't necessarily have a negative connotation towards being prideful. I think it's a positive thing. Obviously, too much of anything can be a downfall. Too much pride can come across as being, egotistical. You can be condescending when you're too prideful.
Condescending. That's a good Scrabble word.
Yeah.
Triple letter score.
But I think when one is pride or have pride in what they're doing or have pride in themselves, they hold themselves accountable to what they're doing. And because of that, they like to be successful or have that successful feeling within them. So to be prideful is not about to think you're better than. I think it's more about just internally, what you've been through, and to be successful in whatever it is that you're doing, that you have your time and focus on. I think anyone should be prideful within that. So I don't think there's a negative connotation. I don't think to be prideful, you have to fall for that.
Interestingly enough, I do think that I can just say what I'm hearing. For me, what I'm hearing, James, you describing it's confidence. Because
but you need confidence, and I think it's they're one and the same. You can use them interchangeably. To be prideful and to have confidence, I think is the same thing, but is a matter of, with both instances, a matter of how you're using it. If you think if your confidence level, and I spoke about this on one of the episodes, back in college, I think my confidence was way too high, which came across as, someone who was condescending, someone who was too good for or better than, or thought that I was better than. That was how it came across. So if you are to that point and you don't know the balance, then it could be a negative connotation. But I think to be prideful is to have confidence.
Okay. So what was you about to say?
Well, I'm going to cover a lot of ground. I think what Kev was saying was like, I'm proud of you and proud for you. I just think that's a hard line because most people, I'm going to speak for our people, we don't ever really decipher what we really mean. They just use the phrase. Right. They might mean the for you or of you. They don't know. They just saying, they just want to show love. Like, yo, I'm proud of you. Like, or they're happy something for you. But
and that's fucked up because I be meaning it when I say it, and hear everybody else go just saying that shit just to say it.
They watered it down. So it's like, plus people don't. I mean, let's be real. The English language is a little more difficult to dissect. for the average person. So
I know you would know.
Exactly. So they're not like breaking it down like that. That's like when Black people say, "Yo, I'm gonna pray for you." That's the prayer. Like that's what that is.
That
was it right there. That was it.
That was it.
That might be the intro right there already.
Yeah. The Lord knows, like, all right, he knew I thought of him, so that's the prayer. Like, we're gonna keep it pushing. But I think like me, like being prideful, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's you have a standard. I think if you say I'm prideful with certain things, like that's my standard. That's who I am, and I won't pass this level. I do, however, know pride is one of the 7 deadly sins. And usually it's like you said, the fall to someone's detriment is because they are now not prideful of their standard. They're prideful of a position.
Right.
And when they don't want to listen to anything or do any, like, you know, everybody's wrong. I'm the man. I know everything on the face of the planet. That's where the downfall happens because you're now not happy that you got there. You know, you're not very happy to be here, but instead you're now imposing that on other people. Like, and that's why I think the problem is like, I think there's a difference between like prideful where you're like, hey, I won't do certain things that you just don't agree with. Right. Then there's like, I have too much pride. It's like, screw everything. Nothing anybody else says matters but what I'm saying. That's where like, the root of that whole pride thing, to me, my meaning of it.
And I think that you make a good point when you specifically talked about position and status. And I think that pride is like this irrational belief that, number one, you got yourself there, when we all know that there are multiple factors that help for somebody to get from point A to point B. And number two, that embarrassment at a certain level, like I was speaking about me swinging a golf club, right? I'm making a joke about pride, but like if I was really prideful in that moment, the fact that I am not good at this will make me put a wall up, and now I'm upset for some shit that's almost internal. Like, bro, you never done this before, so you can, you know, you're allowed to be bad at it. And I think that pride removes that rational ability for you to decipher what is and what is not based on how you feel about yourself.
Right.
I'm gonna challenge James a little bit because I know he mentioned that is, and I think because they are used interchangeably, it's hard to really decipher does the word pride actually have negative connotation versus the word proud, right? And we could argue this for days, and neither one of us would be right realistically, because it's so many definitions. When you think of the word pride, there's probably like 5 versions of it, and one of which are like in different directions of each other. But just to challenge us a little, you never hear people say you're too proud versus being too prideful. And
I just don't think the English language goes that way.
I mean, yeah.
So that's probably why they don't say it that way.
I definitely understand where you're coming from, Kev. And I think proud and pride go together, but pride and prideful are, I guess, have two different meanings. I think prideful has the more negative connotation than having pride. Having pride, I guess, is more about believing in yourself, and that's where confidence, interchangeably for me. And I guess prideful, the actual definition, if you want to, look at it that way, has that negative connotation. But I just look at it as, and I don't make the English dictionary, so I can't say, oh, this is what it actually means, right? That's you know what I mean. But I just look at it. I mean, it's just to be prideful is just to have that extra, again, confidence in what you're doing. And it's not to be arrogant about it, but there is a line that you can cross. You can be too prideful. And that could be your demise, because, you have all of this pride that's, exuberant out of you.
Yeah.
And
I think when you exalt your strategies, your plans, your talents over any other process that could possibly exist or any other way of doing things. Right. To me, that's where pride comes in. It's like pride is what says, I'm not starting on the fries, or I'm not starting mopping the floors. I'm going straight to the fries.
Can I interject really quick? Let's elevate the conversation from pride and proud specifically and exclusively to pride and ego. Because I think Cleveland is going into the ego space, which also contributes to why somebody may be prideful. But I want to just elevate us from pride and proud to pride and ego. So continue, my fault.
Yeah, to me, one feeds the other, and it's hard not to have one tethered to the other. To me, pride and ego are tethered together. So like your ego will tell you like, nah, I'm overqualified for this job. Yes, I applied for it. Yes, I interviewed for this position, but I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna do the job that I'm supposed to be doing with this company. I'm not going to do the job that I was hired for. Or you won't take a job at all when you need one because of what the position or what the role is.
I see that way too often.
Yeah, man. I think that's where pride trips people up, because it's like, nah, like I'm here. I'm not doing something that's here. Like in your eyes, like they'd rather make no money than take a job that's
the craziest thing I ever.
But so I don't understand how zero prideful.
Yeah, like how does zero make sense to you?
It's crazy that you can have pride or have, be that prideful to not accept a job when you're in need, knowing that you can use the money and someone is willing to pay you for this time, and setting your pride and ego to the side. So that's where being prideful comes in. You that negative connotation. So if you have, if you're not willing to feed your family because you think a job is, is less than you, then that's prideful, right? That's the negative connotation of prideful. And that's where I think that line is you have to draw, right? You stepped over that line, because if you are seriously willing, if this is the situation where you need to feed your family or feed yourself or take care of yourself, forget about anybody else, just you, and you're not willing to accept a job that you're able to take for now, then that's there's truly something. Yeah, there's truly something wrong, because you're only making that situation worse. And that's where it's like, you hear that saying, put your pride to the side, right? Stop letting your ego drive your decisions and understand what's best for you right now.
You know what's interesting, and y'all know, well, people who don't know, like psychology is my vibe. So ego and those things fall into the psychological realm in terms of how we operate from a brain perspective. One thing that I want to call out that I think is important is that a lot of us use the word ego wrong, right? We don't have to go deep into this, but it's really well, maybe you don't know. There's an id, ego, and superego. Those are the three things those are the personality traits that we all embody. The id is the one that we really speak about, but nobody was like, yeah, that id got me. Like nobody says that shit. Those speak to the impulses, whereas the superego speaks to like this higher, like this. That's the superego. Whereas the ego specifically balances out. The ego is actually the morality piece of your brain, but we don't speak about that. But I wanted to call that out because when it comes to personality traits, we really are thinking about your pride relating to your impulses. Like you become more impulsive with pride. Pride is like, I don't want to be embarrassed, or like, no, this is my team. You also think about, I'm an Eagles fan. I have impulsive behavior when they're losing. I'm pissed, like for no reason. Like I don't know why I am pissed. But speaking about that, y'all draw lines in the sand about what y'all feel pride is and what it is not. Has pride ever led you to a downfall? Or have you ever been in a situation where you were too prideful and you had to check yourself?
I would say I was prideful with my parents, not really wanting to go home and just
after college.
Yeah, like it's tough living. You know the drill. So
right,
I was like, I'm gonna just do that. Like I probably should have stayed home. Probably should have. I would be probably debt free right now. And I also wouldn't have been out at like $6,000. So
yeah. Oh,
there it is. I was waiting for it.
Back in.
I was waiting for that those 6 stacks. I'm like, it's coming.
Every other episode.
He like, just in case the feds is watching, I am owed $6,000. I haven't forgot.
Uncle Sam, go get that for me.
But do you think she had enough pride? No.
I would say yeah. Too much.
Might have been entitlement.
Too much. Yeah, I think that was entitlement, but I think it was a combination of entitlement and too much pride, because like how you ain't lean on another shit or somewhere. Yeah, I'm saying, like, where's your people's at? Like, yeah, I mean, like, why it's all on me? I know that we've all leaned on each other when we needed.
He hurting. He
dropping clues. He dropping clues now.
I'm just saying, I know we've all leaned on each other when we needed to, and I just was like, could brother get some help around
here? Yeah, man. I can say that I've definitely made some bad decisions as well when it came to being too prideful, like not asking for help, like when I should have asked for help.
That's the number one thing, especially young black men. Man.
It's like there's things that I didn't have to go through that I went through because I kept my mouth closed. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes when you need help, especially if you're, listen, I think the people closest to you know the type of person that you are, right? Like your circle knows whether you work hard or whether you're one of those people who are lazy. And you got to trust that if you fall into a bind, that's like, yo, I'm not asking because I just want to party or I just want to have fun. I'm asking because I'm in a tough spot. So like, yeah, definitely.
But I'll challenge that a little bit, because I do think that depending on the person you were asking and their capacity at the time, they may not have the mental capacity to be like, oh yeah, I know that if you're asking in need, like when you're young, you don't know that shit. You don't know like, yo, he's really asking because he really needs. What if you need back to back? Like, what if you need, last month?
And I know because I'm watching your moves. We hear, like we see your shit.
Right.
Yeah. But I think that may contribute to somebody not speaking up. Like I can't, like I mentioned in the pre-show, we can't assume that everybody knows what you're going through. Like you really can't do that. But at the same time, I think when you're in a tough spot, you want people to see you going through, not see you going through a tough spot. You want people to help without you having to ask. It's like, you know what I mean? And that kind of helps you to save your ego, save your pride. It's just like if my man came in and helped me out without me asking, it's like I'm gonna say no at first because that's what pride does. Nah, I'm good. You're not good. But I'm saying all that to say sometimes it depends on when the person you asking, what situation they're in, if they will look at you like, well, he only asks when he needs.
But that's still pride though, right? It's still pride because it's like I'm not going to ask because I don't know if this person is in a space where they can understand that I'm asking only because I really need help. And it's taking a lot for me to ask. And if they respond in a way that I don't like, then I put myself out there. I made myself vulnerable. And
which usually happens.
But that's still part of the pride aspect of it, right? It's like the Bible says you have not because you ask not, right? So like if you ain't asking and you ain't getting it, you can't be mad that somebody doesn't notice, right? You can't be mad that somebody doesn't notice that you're going through something, you're struggling through something.
Yeah, but I think that's like a best case scenario. Whereas you ask and you receive. Sometimes the person you ask ain't got shit either. You know what I mean?
Cool.
So
I mean that has to be cool. That's okay too.
That happens. Yeah.
No, for sure. But I think there's a risk and reward factor. Let's take it to relationships, right? Let's make it more of an actual situation. If you're asking your partner for something that you absolutely need, I need you to be more communicative. I need you to, if your partner likes to party, I need you to be at the crib more. Like, I don't like that you do X, Y, and Z. If you ask for those things sincerely, and you know that this person loves you, and if they don't do them, you tight. I done been vulnerable. Now the pride comes in. It's like, I done told you once. What the fuck I want?
Yeah, you go to impulses.
Say it once.
Right. Yeah, you get to the impulses. Now you like, well, you outside, I'm outside too. And that's pride.
That's pride, but I mean, that particular situation, you communicated your feelings. And if you're in a relationship with someone you love, you want to hope that those feelings are considered so that the behavior can change, right? If it doesn't, then you have to evaluate whatever it is that you're looking to accomplish at that point in time. Because if you're vulnerable, it's not about now your pride stepping in because now you're gonna start going out. That's not what you want, right? So I mean, you have making decisions about something that someone else is doing and it's gonna drive your decision making, which obviously you shouldn't allow that to ever happen.
That desire to preserve self.
Yeah, because I mean, because it could be like tight, and I mean, as a man, especially black men, I think we're kind of, or I mean, for me anyway, I don't want to speak for all. I should go a little bit deeper in terms of why I think I was, and still to an extent, I'm like I have pride. I have a lot of pride because growing up, I've always seen like my parents basically figure it out, right? You like, even for myself, like, I'm going to figure it out. Like if I want something, I'm not going to go and ask people for it. My parents ain't got it like that. I'm going to figure out how I'm going to get this myself. Mm-hmm. So that led up to like me being an adult and me not asking anyone for anything. And I'm going to figure this out on my own. right? That's just having too much pride, because closed mouths don't get fed. You can simply have a conversation with someone, and it's not asking for anything. You're not asking for a handout. It could just be advice, right? And it just be to have a conversation with someone, to just let someone know what you're going through, how you're feeling, right? That pride is holding in emotions that you shouldn't hold in, right? It's all of those things.
Or is it healthy to?
It's not. No, it's not healthy to have that much pride.
But that much.
I would say I did the same thing that James did, but for a different reason. Like James had the pride because he just figured it out, because he seen his parents, figure it out when they didn't have, right? My pride and just we have the similar figure it out concept, right? Yeah, right. But where mine was derived from was I ain't want to hear nobody. You know what I mean? Like I can't ask. Like if I ask somebody for $20, I have to fill out an application. So like my pride is like, you know what? I'm like, who want to go? Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna stick with these $3 in my bank account until I figure something out. You know what I mean?
Right.
To Var's point, it's that reaction that you don't like. You ask somebody for 20, it's like, oh, you don't got 20? You need like 20?
Yes, man.
I got 20 here. You can have 20. I mean, he said he needs 20.
That ain't your real friend if they say that. That ain't no real. But then
he only need 1925.
Yo,
but you give him the whole 20. It's like, God damn.
You can't. But here's the deal, though. I think we came up with that. You ain't got 20 based off of how the person carried themselves. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I know my grandma used to say, you don't got to have $1 million to look like it, right? However, some stuff could probably, if you look up and down, might have cost you that $20 that you need, like unnecessarily spending. And that's just part of being young and youthful. You do that, but like how you spend money on certain things, and then like it was always prideful. Like you ain't had nothing to eat, or how it was different. Like to me, it was like a priority for me, certain things. So like I knew that, like we think about it, Var. We seen mad people in the mall. Every Thursday, right? Right in college, we seen everybody in the mall getting their stuff, right? Now I worked in the mall, so it's like I was there probably twice, but I watched those same people that's in the mall with bags in their hand talking crazy to me because I'm working at Things Remember with an apron on, right? Like I'm the crazy one. Right. But from Thursday to 6 hours later, Friday morning, they don't even have no money to eat at the diner.
Right.
I'm the wild one though, right? So it's like I had too much pride to be like that. Like I'm like, but
so that's it working in your favor. I can speak specifically because from age 20 when I graduated, 21 to 20, like 23, I was flat broke, and all of my friends, y'all had cars, we all had a place to stay, but I was struggling. There was certain aspects that I would share because I felt like y'all my guys, but it was other aspects I'm like, nah. I remember one day I was working at a job about a few minutes from Kev's mom's house at the AT&T, some spot. Remember Zoe and Woody came and got me from work one day, right? And you take for granted, sometimes you take your friends for granted by accident. And Zoe was like, bro, take the bus, dog. Like, I can't keep inconveniencing myself to pick you up from work. But it was real. No, you dead ass.
I said that.
No, but it was in that moment where I had to inject a little bit of more positive pride from my own situation and take control over the fact that I can't be over-indexing my friends for something that is an inconvenience for them, but it's a luxury for me. So for me, I had to do the opposite and get more pride in my situation and really be like, no, I got to get out here and get it myself. And from there, and it was more like I had to have my feelings hurt in order to be like, damn, son, like I probably needed more pride to kind of keep certain shit. And that kind of informed how I moved. And it made me more private and more resourceful, but it also put more of a battery in my back to get shit on my own, so to speak.
Yeah, you know what?
You're welcome.
It seems like like that's more like changing your own standards, right? So like my standards now are I'm going to try to get it myself first or figure it out myself first before I ask, versus asking and then not trying to figure it out. I think those standards and pride, I guess they can inform each other, but to me they're still distinctive. in nature. Like I think somebody who has standards is somebody who's going to try to figure it out to an extent first, and everybody had to grow in that area. Like I can think of people who will always hit me up for something, and I know they haven't tried to get it on their own, like at all. Like I was the first option. It was like I'm going to ask. They didn't even have an option. It was or whoever. Like, and those type of people, I'm one of the options, right? It's like I'm gonna ask Cleveland, and he say no. I'm gonna call Zoe. He say no. I'm gonna call James. Like that's usually how they function.
I don't like how I was last. He didn't even mention me. Damn, whatever that person won, I ain't got. Apparently.
on my screen, I was going in the order of my screen. On my screen, you're at the bottom.
Maybe he was talking about back in the day. You just said you was broke. Like, you wasn't on the right list, right?
I damn sure wasn't. The list would have been like, who's helping Var right now? God damn.
I should have named Var first. Var the one who got the Batmobile parked in his garage right now.
Word up.
And you got the crazy stock. What we doing? What we doing?
Play that for Var right now.
It's for you.
He got the Bruce Wayne park right in the garage right now. But nah, man, I think your standards have to elevate a bit. And maybe that's not pride. Like maybe it's like, nah, like that's my own internal ethic. I'm going to try first, ask second. But I guess one.
Yeah, because those things, I guess standards existed, right? But sometimes, to your point, you don't look at your situation as a benefit if it's hurting someone else. Those people asking you for help don't know that I know that you're asking me because you know that I'm going to lean in to help. But at some point, your job as Cleveland is to be like, yo, stop hitting me up in the most peaceful way. And what Zoe was saying is like, bro, I love you, but like, I got shit to do. And with that said, if the person understands, if it has to click, and sometimes you need to be reminded to get it out the mud yourself. Multiple aspects of my life were trying to figure it out, but there was just one piece that I was using as a crutch when I probably shouldn't have. It's like, yo, grab your balls, bro. What the fuck? Go fucking take this shit. Take the bus, dog. Like you can do this. The fuck?
Well, that's probably the South Jersey, though. Like North Jersey, New York people, like that public transportation shit. They function like there's not even having the cars an inconvenience actually up there.
No. It was to what y'all was speaking to was the correct thing. It wasn't that I was incapable. It was like y'all were the first thought versus
because it was plus you know what it was too. A lot of it was that was our hang time. So it's like, yo, we chilling, we on the way back, the commute, blah, 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 cool. So it was more than just you asking for that. It was like, yo, I'm chilling my niggas, we on the way home, we probably gonna stop, get something to eat. Like, yeah, I mean, it was like a routine thing. But I get what you're saying is like, I think at that time it was like, well, you know, there's a day or two where I'm like, I can't, or I'm over here and now I feel bad. And I'm like, shit, let me go get it.
And now I'm a child that has to be picked up from daycare. You feel what I'm saying? But when I put it to myself like that, it's like, the fuck is wrong with you? And in real life, it might have been like a month, but that month was long enough to be like, yo, nah.
But then here's another thing. I'm gonna throw an ill wrench in there too. Sometimes there's people that they got like a menu. They don't even look at the menu. They just go straight to asking you, right? They don't even look at the options on how to do it first. Nothing. It's like they even occur, right? But the problem is like
what they got here.
Like yo, the joint's right here. So like, let's say this, right? So Var, like, let's hypothetically say, by the time you had asked me. Like, I'm just saying this is not what happened, but I'm just saying this has happened to me in other aspects where you just happen to be like the third nigga to do that day. Like, you know what I'm saying? So everybody, it's like a radar. Everybody know, like, yo, ask this nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now we like, yo, everybody, I got a sign.
Yep. Like, and Zoe was the person who I modeled this after. I never heard anybody say it, but this is something that we both experienced in college. Reliability is a sin. If you are too reliable, you will be abused no matter what. It kind of is what it is. But going back to our overarching topic about pride, we talked about, has pride ever gotten in your way? Has pride ever helped you to the point where it's like, had I not gotten some pride in a situation, or if I hadn't, got myself together, then it would have been done for?
I mean, we in the pre-show, we're not gonna get into it, but I had to have some pride to do what I
did. One day we're gonna release the tape.
Oh my God, I can't wait till do.
I mean,
but I think that's courage too. That's a lot of courage.
Hey,
Nah, you said no. Can't talk too much about it. But
yeah, let it rock.
If we're talking about a similar situation, sometimes let's talk about men and women. Maybe something isn't going your way, and what you do from that point on determines like how you proceed as a couple or lack thereof. Because there may be a girl that's like quote unquote out of your league. What does it take for you to shoot for that? Does it take pride, courage, confidence? What part does a pride play into you trying to get the attention of another woman?
Pride definitely plays a major factor in your ability to approach. I'm going to say a woman, speaking for myself,
right?
Whatever you're interested in. I think you definitely have to have like some level of pride, but when I say pride, I mean like self-awareness to allow yourself and open up yourself to rejection. Right? That's the key to being able to approach people and to have conversations or to converse with them. Because if you have too much pride, you will never allow yourself to open up to the potential of what it could be because you're so afraid of rejection. You're allowing your pride to basically get rejected before actually presenting yourself an opportunity.
That pride and rejection go hand in hand, boy.
You ain't lying. He ain't
lying.
But boy, that's like what we used to do. Remember, like we used to be like, yeah, you trying to get played. Like I felt like if I told myself I was going to, when it didn't, like it kind of I like tricked my own pride, right?
Right. Had to have a soft. You had to have a soft landing.
Yeah. Like I tricked myself, my own pride, from like, yo, it's okay to catch an L. Yeah, I mean it's not that serious, but
in that scenario, aren't you checking your pride? So your pride isn't necessarily helping you. You're telling your pride you're not going to stop me. You're not telling your pride you're going to help me, kind of thing.
But yes and no, because you can't be stopped once you say no already. Mm-hmm. You proceeded, and she stopped you. So
no, I think that's what I'm saying though. Like you're saying, I'm preparing myself for rejection. Right.
Yes.
And pride and rejection is almost like a seesaw. Like I'm preparing myself for rejection. So I'm saying pride, you go down, and rejection is a higher chance that you're going to win in this scenario. So you're not like using your pride to move forward. You're kind of like stiff arming it so it doesn't stop you, so to speak.
Well, I think it can be a two-way street though, Cleveland. So to have pride in yourself is to believe that I can do this. Right.
And to me, that sounds like confidence, though.
But that's why I said I think pride and confidence are
like synonymous.
Or like one and the same. And that's why I keep mentioning that, because that's how I look at it. I mean, I definitely think you can have too much pride that prevents you from doing things, but you can also have pride in certain things that you know that you're great in that allows you to do other things. Right. So you can have pride that allows you to approach someone of whatever sex you like. But you can also
look at James being so inclusive, my man.
You can also be so afraid of rejection, where that pride kicks in, that it doesn't allow you to move forward. So that's why I think it can be, either or. It just depends on how you look at it and your interpretation of what your pride is.
How you feel about that, Kev?
I mean, I think in that situation, when you're talking about pulling up on somebody, I don't see how pride is going to benefit you. Like I think you could have confidence to go do that, but what are you putting yourself at a high value to say that I'm putting myself at a high value to go pull up on a stranger?
Yeah, my game. Yeah, I take pride in my game.
Yeah, like you only think about pride when you lose.
Okay. If you put it in James' way, I take pride in pulling up on a stranger.
Yeah,
that's a different way of put it. I could see it that way. But since you want to challenge your thought, I like that. So I'll take the challenge, and I will say, pride could be you don't want to miss out on an opportunity. Like you just are prideful in being in a moment so bad that you just got to pull up on somebody and give her the word because you don't want to be like, I missed that opportunity.
Yo, you know what's so funny? I used to say that when I got rejected. I used to say that when I got rejected. Like, you missed out on an opportunity.
Oh.
Hey man,
problem, not me.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
So let's advance the conversation from this aspect to like, what is foolish pride? That's a term, right? What is foolish pride in this regard? Not about women, but in general.
I would
foolish pride is
everything.
Yeah, but I say foolish pride is to be prideful, right? That's where the negative connotation come in. Like you are allowing yourself to make certain decisions that's driving specific aspects of your life, whatever that may be. You having foolish pride is rejecting you from taking on those opportunities because again, you think you're better than. So I think at that point in time is where you're prideful.
Or if somebody got a great idea, like an invention or whatever, I think one of y'all said it early about like where you think you got yourself there or something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So one of those kind of deals where you like have now twisted reality and history to think that now that you're on top, like you was born on top, and you didn't have a climb, and then you don't have to listen to nobody, you don't have nothing, and that's I mean I've experienced that not on the fall part, but I've interacted with people who felt like they couldn't listen to me. Screw me, I'm the man, I'm this. So pride
is over arrogant. It's over being overly highly arrogant. That's how I look at it, and it's exactly how Zoe put it. Someone who just thinks way highly of themselves that they can't humble themselves in the moment to, even if it's, for example, I'm just going to use these two positions, and you got somebody who's a CEO and then someone who's a janitor, and the CEO's too prideful to take advice from the janitor. Hey, how's your day going? Not too bad. It's just work at stuff you wouldn't understand. Oh well, like that pride can get in the way of not being a human, and not being affectionate with other people, and you guys put it well. It is foolishness, and that can kill you, and I think that's what we think about when we think about the word being
a deadly sin.
Yeah, there's that foolishness.
And something that we didn't really touch on yet, which is interesting, is relating pride or foolish pride to emotions. And we spoke about rejection, but we haven't really put it to emotions, so to speak. And I think that when you think about foolish pride, it's being unwilling to cave to your emotions. You're like, I won't let this feeling make me feel or make me do X, Y, and Z. But if we really think about it, the emotions that we have should probably inform with some thought the decisions we make therefore after. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100. I was actually had a great conversation about, it's kind of like contradicts a little bit about what you said, but I like what you said because it's important. Because what I was trying to emphasize was you cannot make a decision on emotion solely because you should always think about things you do, but your emotion is very much needed because that's telling you what you should feel. You should feel that way.
Right.
You should analyze why you feel that way. You should find a root cause of why is it you feel that way. So then you can have a real answer, but don't react on it. Think about it, embrace it, and then have a reaction or a response. So the emotion itself is powerful because it's an indicator of how you should feel. Now, doesn't necessarily mean how you should respond. It's just a great way that you can kind of like analyze the situation based on how you feel, and understanding that there is a difference between how you feel and what you should do, but understanding that how you feel is just as important as the logical thought process.
Well, let me ask you a question. This is for the panel, right? For the squad. Is this considered pride? I know we kind of like breezed over it earlier. If you tell someone over and over and over something, right? And then they don't listen, and then you react to it with the emotion that we're talking about, right? Is that still considered pride, or is that just like I'm waking, like woke, or whatever choice word you want to use? Because it's like, is that still like a level like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not taking this no more. Like, is that? I mean, I guess it could be, right. It's classified as like my standard
frustration.
Yeah, I think it's a fine line, and I think it's definitely based upon the situation, to be honest with you. I think if you're constantly communicating something specific to someone and they aren't like doing anything to adjust, you're justified in being frustrated. For sure. I don't think that's being prideful. I think that's just being human. Like I said this to you a million times, but nothing seems to be changing. I want to relate that specifically to pride.
Yeah. I
think pride is more like almost like the opposite. Like I shouldn't have to say nothing. I don't want to have to communicate.
Okay.
In certain aspects.
That's why I ask. What if you feel both ways?
Then you're nuts.
No, I mean, I don't think. I don't think.
So like, damn, they figured me out.
I say, well, the Libra scale has tipped, my friends.
You know what I think about pride? When I think about pride, is like, it's always like you have to do it in the way that you think is best. Like, it has to be the way that you think is best.
In that case, I'm a prideful motherfucker, because Lord knows. I'm like, no, communicate to me this way.
My way is the only right way.
Yo,
my way the highway.
Bro, that can have you in a rut.
Yeah,
and then
sure.
something can happen. Something can happen. Somebody can communicate. It literally is doing the same exact thing, has the same exact outcome, but they didn't do it in the way that you thought was best. So,
well, first of all, shut up.
That's every parent, though.
Shut up.
Well, I mean,
that's my life.
Different.
Yo, let Tiff tell it. She can say the exact same thing that I told y'all. I don't know if the viewers heard. I am top 2% communicators of all time. As I couldn't get the word out, that's how you know I'm lying.
He communicated, couldn't even
top
say
two,
right.
Top 2. Blah, blah, blah.
I'm Floyd Mayweather.
The thing is, she can say the same exact thing that she thinks that I'm saying, and she had one word different. Like, that's not what I'm saying. Then I proceed to repeat the same shit that she's saying. And that's just a me thing. Like, I got to get over that shit, because I know how I want to hear it. And the only way that I'll make moves is if I hear it the way that makes sense to me, which is stupid. And I hope she don't hear this.
Oh, I can't wait for that other Evan.
Right. I know. But going back to the big thing around pride is, we talked about pride stopping you from, asking for help. But have you ever been in a situation where you've, from your experience, had to coach someone on like how to take their pride down? Have you ever been able to talk to like a mentee or a little cousin or even a peer to be like, bro, you bugging and this your pride? How did they respond?
Yeah, I mean, you say you started taking the bus.
That is not the intro, goddammit.
For the idea of the discretion idea, I'm not gonna say who it was, but I will say that it was needed, because there's this particular person that feels that their way is the highway, and not so much as the highway, but what they were taught is the only way things should be done. And it was more of a humble moment, and really an opportunity for that person to not be seen and perceived in a way where they wouldn't excel, because it's hard to collaborate with other people when you are that way. It's hard to.
It is.
It's hard to. People will have.
They're gonna talk about you behind your back, and they're not gonna want to fuck with you.
That's exactly. It's short. It's short, right? Yeah. 100. And so it's just like a matter of, you got to be open-minded to other people's perspective. Although your answer could be right, entertain the perspective just to see if you would. Don't shut it out, because for a fact that way is not going to work out. You got to be tasteful with that.
Well, why do we think that people struggle with pride? Why is pride so stubborn? Like, why does it not go away?
Well, I'm gonna say, first of all, y'all know the situation that I've dealt with as to how. Y'all know what I'm talking about for real is, prideful people who didn't want to take heed, right?
Right.
And I think that was one of the best things, that me having pride and disconnecting that, like just cutting that cord, it was probably like the best thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I didn't know that. I think the reason why is because, for 2 reasons. One, people don't know the true meaning or definition of pride, or it means something different to every person, right? Mm-hmm. And then the fact that, we live in a shiny society, so to speak. Like, remember how we say online, nobody likes a shiner, right? So, like, everybody wants to be the man. Everybody wanted,
want the spotlight.
Yeah, so, not everybody, because there are introverts, but, like, certain people who are like that, they like, it's got to be about me. It don't even matter. Like, I know certain people who were there when the shit was done, but didn't do nothing, but they stepped in front. Like, I hate.
Yeah.
And then you like, okay, like, so, all right. You know what I'm saying? But it happens. And I think it's because of the way our society is run now. It's all about glitz, glamour, who did what. So people don't want to take the back road even when they should, or even certain situations. You know what I mean, you could be shiny, but I mean, shit. Michael Jordan let Steve Kerr and them take the last shot, and Mike Paxson. I mean,
John Paxson.
John Paxson. Like,
I think also we're speaking about emotions. Pride and being stubborn are also hand in hand, right? It's like pride is that thing that you just can't get rid of without the right ingredients. And sometimes the ingredient is that you broke. You know, broke spiritually, broke mentally, broke financially. Right. When you really let go and allow other folks and tools and resources to use you or be used, you achieve, you excel. Kev just spoke about collaboration. It's hard to collaborate with a person that is prideful because it's like, yo, everything that somebody else does is never right. Okay, you do it on your own then. Do it on your own and you see what happens. But that stubbornness is tough to go away. And I don't know a lot of rich people, but a lot of the folks that I know that are wealthy want to collaborate.
You know, it's more the time period. I think we're more in a collaborative period, more so than any time before. Work is more collaborative. They teach you about collaboration and team environment stuff in grad school. It's like we're in a collaborative environment, and you got to be able to share your expertise. You gotta be an expert. You gotta be okay with saying that you don't know anything. And people get in a way
they
of
say,
trying to.
The smartest people say that they don't know. Something like that. Like you have to be smart enough to know when you don't know. Something like that.
Yeah, the wisest people will say nothing at all.
Correct.
But the thing is that like people got to understand, like you don't got to be so prideful in your talent to be taken seriously or be good. You just got to show that you are able, and you got to be able to make whatever is given to you better, and you have to be able to take heed and to work with other people realistically. Like in a world of technology, the world of innovation that we're in, companies are collaborating, people are collaborating, and you got to be able to work with people. And if you're too prideful, it's not going to be a success, unfortunately. You know, it's going to be a recipe for disaster.
Imagine going to the pastor for marital counseling or premarital counseling, and everything he said, like, I know.
Why are you here then?
Right. What are you doing? What are you doing? And ladies, if you listen, I know that you thought that this was going to be all about like how we don't listen in relationships. Wrong. Wrong. Maybe that's part 2. If you want to do that episode, you can start your own podcast. But let's wrap this up and let's think about. Let's end on a positive note. For those of us who may be more prideful than others, what are some positive ways we could come up off it for the greater good of our situation?
I think self-reflection, just understanding what's important. Right. I think if you take everything else out and just look at what's important right now, that's like for you particularly, and make your decisions based on that, nothing else. Right. I think you'll be able to make the right decision and set your pride to the side if you need to, or when you need to, I should say.
I love it. Go ahead, Cleveland.
Yeah, I'll just add to that and say, specifically asking yourself, is what I'm doing working? Like, is it working? Am I sticking to a plan? Am I sticking to a strategy that's leading me to a dead end? Like, is what I'm doing working? And if the answer is no, then you got to be open to trying new ways. And that helps to reduce the pride that you're holding on to.
I'm piggyback over Cleveland and say, listen, if someone's telling you what you're doing is not working, then be open-minded to actually changing. Don't have too much pride.
Right.
Saying that your way is the only way. Sometimes the people that's closest to us is going to tell us about ourselves, and whether we like it or not, it's probably the truth. So be open-minded to making adjustments.
How about you, Zoe?
And I would say definitely be open-minded to making adjustments, but don't try to remember what your goal is. What's the path? Like even in the Wizard of Oz, they didn't just take the straight road. They took a couple detours. I think you got to pay attention. Like, okay, maybe it's not the way I wanted to do it. But can it get me to where I want to go, or will it still achieve the same goal? that's how you can, I guess, reduce your high pride level by saying, okay, well, it's not what I wanted to do or how I wanted to do it, but it's going to get me there. Understand that other people do have good ideas, or else there's not just one inventor of everything on the face of the earth. You know what I'm saying? So obviously somebody had another brilliant idea somewhere else. You might want to try it out. You never know.
Right. So I'll say, don't cut off your nose to spite your face. What that simply means is don't hurt yourself trying to save yourself. Ask for help, man. Like, because I'll take it to a specific thing that I maybe folks who are listening to this may be in this situation. I'll speak specifically to men. Don't try to argue with your girl for the sake of being right and end up losing her and then wanting her back in the end. Yo, just do the work now, son. Like, just do the work now. Listen to what she's saying, or get the help. Go to therapy. You know what I mean? Bring a third party involved, not for sex, but bring somebody.
Or maybe, I was gonna say, or maybe
that might solve the problem.
I mean, I wasn't cooking with grease then, but now we're cooking with grease.
That nigga was air frying it.
I was air frying it, real PG with it, not Pence Grove. But don't cut your nose to spite your face. Don't try to, go down and hurt yourself more for not getting help.
Since we're using catchphrases, I also use one for business. Everybody who like money and trying to chase the bag and all that other stuff, don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Shout out to moms and my grandma I know for that one.
Don't be house rich and cash poor. Anybody who got the next one?
But yeah, like that happens a lot when people start penny pinching and I need this and forget like there's a bigger picture. So
turn the heat on. So with that said, we're going to get to your favorite segment in a minute, but we're going to kick it over to my man Pulpit Poppy for the motivational moment.
Oh, here we go.
Oh man, thanks a lot, bro. So as I've said on this show before, I've been working out, right, with a personal trainer.
As I've said,
I've been working out with a personal trainer. Now, I work out with the personal trainer virtually, but sometimes when I go to the gym and I'm working out virtually with the personal trainer, I bring my wife with me and she's in the gym with me. And it was one time where my trainer had me doing these exercises where each set we increased the weight. So we started off at one weight and then we escalated in weight as we progressed. And when we got to the final weight, and my wife was in the room, by the way, we got to the final weight and I realized like, I can't do this movement with this weight, but I didn't want to drop the weights because A, I didn't want to seem like I was giving up, but B, I just didn't want to seem weak in front of my wife. So even though these weights were weighing me down and they were restricting my movement, I didn't want to drop them because I didn't want to seem like I was giving up and I didn't want to seem like I was weak. And if we relate that to our lives, a lot of times we're holding on to things that are weighing us down, that are restricting our movement, but we don't want to let it go. And we don't want to let it go because we have an unhealthy commitment to things that aren't working. So, for example, we may have this idea or concept of what we should have accomplished by this stage in life, and we're holding on to that idea and to that concept. And that's preventing us from moving forward and progressing in the way that we should be moving forward and progressing. We may be holding on to methods for success that we thought would work that are no longer working, but we don't want to let it go because we don't want to seem weak, even though it's restricting our progress. Or we may be holding on to unforgiveness. It's weighing us down. It's restricting our movement, but we don't want to let it go because in letting go of unforgiveness, sometimes we think that makes us seem weak. So my encouragement is 2 words: let go. Let go of those things that are holding you back, and also find those things that are holding you back. Make sure you're taking the time to be introspective and find those things, because if you let go, you're not giving up. A lot of people say, I don't want to let go because I don't want to feel like I'm giving up. But letting go is not giving up. It's simply acknowledging that there's another way to do it that you may not be aware of at the time. So my encouragement for today is just let go.
Let go and let God.
I knew that was coming. Before we pitch it over to Zoe for Zoe knows, I just want to know, like, what happened to that weight? Did you put it down? Did you struggle? Did your arm shake? What did you do with it?
So
Did
actually,
you do one of these?
No. Actually, I put it down because, Gabe saw that it wasn't working out for me. So I put it down. He gave me a variation of the exercise that allowed me to still achieve what I was trying to achieve, but I achieved it in a healthier way. So without injury. So I think that's another thing, man. Sometimes you got to let it go so you can be open to new methods and new.
But the reason what I was asking is, did your wife react at all?
I waited till she turned around. When I saw she wasn't looking at me, I was like, yo, give me something else. All right.
I was hoping you said something around like it didn't matter that she didn't give a fuck anyway.
Nah, man, look, my wife wants to be healthy. She didn't want me doing nothing crazy, hurting myself. Now I got a bad back. Oh, wow.
Like, like, look at you, dummy. In the bed, pull the muscle, dummy.
Unfortunately, that's what my wife says, because she's like, if you don't sit your ass down, nigga, every time you come in, you hurt. You always icing this. And I'm like, yo, ball is life, okay? Relax. You wouldn't understand. It's like I had to hit her with the blank man. Like, you wouldn't understand. All right, so you can keep the ball. Pitch it over you for Zoe knows.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
Hey, yo, Zoe knows this. Zoe knows that. So light skin. Zoe stay black. Oh, there we go. Well, my friends. I'm going to breeze through these because there's a decent amount. So first, I don't want to acknowledge a good in depth with it because I'm not knowledgeable of it, but there is a situation going on across the world with Palestine and Israel that I think everyone should dive into, look into, understand. And the only reason why I say that because our audience, or people who look like us, you might can relate. It's a little bit of empathy that goes along with the situation with Palestine and Israel. So that's first and foremost. Secondly, we've approached the 1-year anniversary of George Floyd, his death and murder, should I say? Yeah, correction. And now we're just waiting to see what else is happening with the trial. Everyone went out and protested. So, that was something serious. Next, there was a man that was missing for 17 days and was found, like 60-something-year-old man out in Oregon. I don't know why he was missing, what is going on. I'm just curious to see the rest of the article. Is how he lived for 17 days in the middle of nowhere is crazy. I did go do a Google just to double check, and the perception of the individual that you're thinking is actually correct. Okay. So I just wanted to say that. I had to always make sure, right? Like, you know how we go with that. I'm like, damn. There's also no more remote learning this fall for the kids. Everybody got to go back to school, at least in New York. I think certain townships in New Jersey, but Governor Murphy, I think in 3 days from now, or by the time you guys hear this, we would be officially like open all the way in New Jersey. So
school is completely open in the fall to New Jersey.
Yeah, so it's New Jersey as well. So that's that. And I want to say a rest in peace to the great Paul Mooney, who
for sure,
who said one of the most influential and wise things that at the time I thought was crazy when he said it, but made so much sense. Everybody want to be a, but don't want to be a, I'll censor myself, but y'all know the phrase.
M-word.
Yeah, so which is crazy because it makes so much sense. And lastly, since we're talking about pride, I saved this one for last for y'all because I want to know how y'all feel about it. Kwame Brown.
I've been trying not to watch it, or
it's weird. It's a hard. First of all, nobody knew he spoke or talked or had language, but
for what I hear, from the things the clips that I did see, he be making sense, a whole lot of sense.
Oh no, yeah, he making sense. I think he's definitely lashing out because he's like, yo, I've been quiet for 20 years. Y'all been killing me.
Thanks.
Some stuff I think he goes a little too much because it's like it's not about basketball. And again, most people have kept it on the basketball topic, and now he took it personal. Like, and I get you're taking it personal, but they're just because it's you. But it's like they're talking about basketball, so talk about Matt Barnes, talk about the whole Derek Fisher situation, talking about a lot of different things.
It's one of those things you open up Pandora's box, and speaking of, he's been getting beat up, so to speak, for years. So
yeah,
when he come out, I mean,
That's what I'm saying. You can't control how people react. You can only control your actions. So
He be
Charlamagne
funny.
actually had
Mama's
to give
cooking.
Charlamagne actually had to give himself donkey of the day today and
Yeah,
apologize because he went way too far exposing stuff that was not supposed to like come out about his family, his dad, his brothers, stuff like that. But I was just curious to what y'all think about it. I mean, I'm indifferent because it's like, yo, stay on brand, stay on topic, but I guess he's like, nah.
So no, you would do the same thing Kwame Brown did.
If I let it last for 20 years, but I wouldn't have let it last. So,
that's what I'm saying. About 4 days, and you would have let the chopper fly.
Probably. That's why I said I'm indifferent. I'm like 50-50 with it. Like the mature growing me is thinking stay on topic, but then like the core of me is like, nah, everybody get it. Like I'm letting it loose. I don't care. I talk about the ingrown hair you have. I'm going in like.
That's the thing. He's been quiet for too long. I mean, he's never really responded. To my knowledge, he's never really clapped back at anybody talking about him being a bust.
Nah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, so,
but if you look at
he still was in the league for what, 12 years?
13 years. Yeah.
13 years. So I mean, yeah, he was number one and he didn't like light it up. I mean, he still had a spot in the league for all that time. And then, you know, there were other factors too that a lot of people were making good points. Like he went into a very hostile environment right out of high school. He's 17, like, and he's like playing with the best player that's ever played, arguably.
To the GOAT at the time.
Yeah,
Michael Jordan.
So like, you know, that being said, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure, especially being told like, oh, you're trash. Like you're going to cause us to lose our franchise and all kinds of. Like that's a lot for a kid, man. Like he's still.
And if you watch the genesis of this conversation, Gilbert Arenas did not shit on him.
No,
like,
he didn't.
I watched the episode and I didn't even know the controversy. Gilbert Arenas was talking about playing with Kwame Brown. He said he was special. So the dude could play almost all positions if it was that time. If back in the day, if they had the basketball was played like that. So dude was quick. He just said, Gilbert Arenas said, how would you feel if you played with your idol and your idol treated you like shit? Your confidence is out the window. Like what?
It's trash. Yeah, that's crazy, and it's true. That's why he even said him and Gil is good because they had a conversation. You know what I mean, they spoke, and Gilbert didn't really kill him like that. He just said, "Look, yeah, the results is the results. We can't front on that, but y'all got to understand the factors that contributed to those results." Because Mike was used to doing that with grown ass men. That's 25 and older. That's not the same. Somebody 17 that's still trying to figure out who they are.
Bro made $65 million in 13 years. It's not successful to me.
Right. That sounds like
he reached
some level of success. Some level of success.
Yep. So, but that's the main thing on the Zonos. I just
it ain't. No, it ain't. Zonos basket. You know, you miss your Knicks.
Nah, we're not gonna talk about that.
Nah, man, you report the news.
All right, we in the damn playoffs and we took an L the other night. We took an L. I specifically tried to act like we wasn't even going to talk about it, but we are down 0-1 to the Atlanta
tough
Hawks.
Loss.
Well, since we're talking about the Hawks, hold up. This just came in. Did y'all hear about Dominique Wilkins?
The racism moment? And
yeah. Up in Buckhead restaurant, they apologized for turning away, saying he wasn't dressed properly. First of all, what's dressed properly in Atlanta? Secondly, he's an older gentleman, clearly in his 50s. Like, it's not.
He's Dominique Wilkins, bro.
He is Atlanta. Like, how do you come here and not know who he is?
He's Dominique Wilkins in Atlanta at that.
Before there was Jermaine Dupri, there
was Dominique Wilkins.
Before Magic City, there was Dominique Wilkins. What are you saying? Before Spo Webb, there was Dominique Wilkins. What y'all talking about?
Yes, I don't know. That joint threw me off, but yes.
That's the first man I ever knew to be named Dominique. You better give a man some respect.
That's a fact. I didn't know any, I only knew women named Dominique.
Right.
So, but yeah, that was nuts. But yes, we took an L to Atlanta Hawks, and the Lakers took an L as well.
No, they didn't.
So I spread the love to VAR. But yeah, it's playoff season.
Sixers won game 1.
Oh, here you go.
It's been a great episode, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and get to the playoffs because I just don't understand what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Oh, shit.
Go ahead.
Miami?
The Wizards.
Oh, that don't count. Get out of here.
What you mean it don't count?
No, I don't count.
You ain't no
playoffs, baby.
You ain't no Sixer fan.
I'm not.
See, you heard that?
I'm not. I'm not. I love watching the NBA playoffs. I literally don't even watch the NBA until the playoffs because I don't know. I can't commit to all season, but during the playoffs, there's always good basketball, so I watch.
I love it. All right, so keep the ball. Get us out of here with this serenity prayer.
Yes, we want to ask God to grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference between the two. Not the pride, but the wisdom to know the difference between the two.
And that's been episode 45. If you're still with us, we appreciate you. Go ahead to Juxtaposition.Pod. Get yourself a hoodie for your brother, your sister, your mama. And we'll see y'all next week.